Welcome in Wednesday edition, Blue Sky Live here with you this morning. Good to be back in studio. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford studio. We will hit a bunch of, I think we said assorted topics there in the subject line for the day. That's what we write, that or potpourri when we don't know what the hell we're going to talk about for the most part. But I got some stuff written down. We will hit that and more here with you today on a show brought to you every day by Blue Sky locations throughout the state of Mississippi, up and down I-55, throughout North Mississippi as well. They take care of you with the chances to fill up for your fuel stop. That gives you catering options. That give you lunch special options and plenty more there. Again, Blue Skies all over the state of Mississippi and coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for our friend Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. There's no hassle. There's no haggle. You get your quote. And the rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today, 662-257-1900. Guest, join on the Campbell Clinic hotline from fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions. The pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
Oh, good to be back. As we said, plenty of topics, stuff going on. I feel like we're in the dog days. Here, the College World Series field is set. We talked a little bit about that a couple days ago. Murray State did advance with a bit of a late rally, late rush there in Durham. I was worried about him for a second because when you half dogpile and then have to throw more pitches after that, I went, woo, mentally.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I don't need a ball to go over the wall for Duke right here because that would suck. Because here's the deal. They got that call probably right on the interference. However, I've watched a lot more college baseball than I ever would want to admit in public. In March, that call stands. That call is not overturned in March. And they went, we're just not ending their season on this call.
Yeah.
But you put Murray State in a really bad spot at the same time.
I'll give them a lot of credit for mental toughness.
Oh, no, there's no doubt.
And it might just be looseness. But, that Sunday night at Swayze, they got spanked.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember now thinking, Now, I have the benefit of hindsight because I know what happened on Monday.
Yeah.
But on Sunday when they were like, we just got whipped, but
come back tomorrow.
Hey, we'll come back tomorrow and play. We're not supposed to be here. We're not supposed to be in this situation. So, no pressure. And you're like, oh, are you trying to talk yourself into this? But they kind of just came out and played. And not to open up an old wound or anything here and rip the Band-Aid off, but I've seen some people do the whole, typical Ole Miss, we got the hardest four. That's not really it. I mean, it's sports. Sports are fickle. On a game where you just needed to play clean defense and you would have won, you didn't. And so you didn't. They gave up 5 unearned runs, and really,
that doesn't count the missed cutoff men, the other things that played into the game.
A little harsher judge of errors and hits.
They had a pretty light bookkeeper when it was doing the work there.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the press box, as you know. It was the first time I'd been up there with you guys in a long time, and I was like, "That's a hit."
No, Neal's astonishment a couple times throughout the weekend is it went, oh yeah, that's a hit, and he goes, huh? Complete disbelief goes, hold on, what are you talking about?
I was like, dude, that's an error. It's like, what are we doing?
No.
They're like, no, that's a hit. I'm like, all right. It didn't look like a hit.
Yeah, new here, huh?
But I mean, in reality, they gave up 7 unearned runs. And there just aren't many teams that are going to give up 7 unearned runs in a game and win it. And in a 1-game series, which is what that was, And
again, I'm going to stop because we're all going to move on to football. You did not lose the series because you didn't start Hunter Elliott. If Riley Maddox pitches like that, Georgia Tech beats him too.
Yes.
And then you're in the exact same spot.
Right.
I mean, I guess technically you had to beat Georgia Tech twice instead of Murray, but okay, same deal. You're still struggling with pitching and whatnot.
I remember you and me talking about it for, the better part of a month. By the way, thank you, Chris Beard and Ole Miss basketball, for making the Sweet 16 because it pushed the baseball content back.
Yeah.
And
that was nice.
Please do it again.
Yeah, do it again. Thanks.
But, I remember us saying it. So Ole Miss has a path, and that path is pretty narrow. It's a clean path, but it's a narrow path.
It's true.
There weren't big shoulders on the side of the road. You know, when you're driving like on the interstate and in a construction zone, and like those big concrete barriers are to the side of you, and you kind of feel like you're getting squeezed.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where Ole Miss was. They were driving. It was clean. There weren't there weren't like obstacles and stuff. But if you swerved a little bit one way or the other, you were going to hit concrete, and then you're going to have problems. And I mean, I hate to pin this on Riley because it's not fair. It's not fair to pin it on one guy.
In no way.
In any way. But when he struggled to be sharp and he couldn't get out of the fourth, you're like, well, they swerved a little.
And then you lose on top of it.
Yeah. And then they swerved a lot.
You started scratching the sides then.
Yeah. Now the car's got some damage. You're not as aerodynamic as you needed to be. That happened.
Yeah.
And so you got to Monday and all the arms were tired. And theirs were too. But the difference was you gave them extra outs, and they played a pretty good. The center fielder played a great defensive game.
He just kept stealing runs.
And so, I mean, one team plays clean defense, one team doesn't. You know the rest.
And they maximized 3 arms.
Yeah,
we've seen it.
They did, and there at the end, I mean, he handed it to the guy and was like, "Hey, look, it's going to be what it's going to be. You're
best. My dude.
Do your best." And I think the review gave him a chance to reset a little bit.
No, it was the play of the night.
The
HBP was the play of the night.
And watching it, they probably got it right.
Yeah.
It was weird. It's a weird call. I don't envy the umpires having to go review that and go, what do we do here? Because if it's debate class and you go make the debate that it's a bad call, make the debate that it's a good call, I can do both.
Yeah, sure.
And so, the rest.
Yeah.
And they're a fun story. But no, I mean, and then, I've gotten some criticism, and I probably deserve it, for saying, hey, this is guaranteed. Ole Miss is going to Omaha. But what I was trying to say, and I guess had I more diplomatically said it the way that you said it the other day.
Well, because you just assumed they were going to win, frankly, including in the 8th inning that night.
Well, they were the better team.
Yeah.
And I knew they would beat. I thought they would beat Duke.
Yeah.
Especially in Oxford or anywhere else for that matter. Yeah. On the surface of Jupiter, I think they would have beaten Duke. Be a long road trip, but I thought they were going to Omaha, and I said Omaha was opening up for them. They would be playing UCLA.
That's correct.
On Saturday, and I don't know enough about UCLA to handicap the game, but I think Ole Miss would at least have a coin toss shot. And then if you won, you'd play the winner of LSU, Arkansas, 2 teams that you've already beaten, 2 teams that you could lose to, obviously. I guess Ole Miss was 2-2 against Arkansas and 1-0 against LSU, so not a massive sample size there, but they'd have had a shot.
Yeah.
And that's all I was trying to say. And it was kind of there for you, and you didn't take advantage of it. And to Murray's credit, they were kind of kept alive, and they took advantage, and now they're in Omaha, and it's God, you talk about playing with house money, man. I mean, it doesn't matter what happens to them in Omaha. This is when this team gets together in 20 years, it's going to be a joyous reunion. It's all gravy for me. The cake is baked.
Oh.
You're going to get to eat the cake. It's iced.
Doesn't matter if it's 18-1 2 days in a row up there in Carl Schwab.
No, you're getting cake and ice cream if you're Murray. And it's just a matter of how much icing do you want on this thing.
And Dan Skirka gets to decide if he wants to go get paid.
And Dan, go get paid.
Don't think, hey, I'll just do it again next year.
No, don't get sentimental.
If Duke calls, answer the phone. I've seen the park.
Oh.
Because Chris Pollard just left for Virginia.
Yep. Yeah.
If Duke calls, Dan,
just take the job.
Take the job.
Just say yes. Yes. When you get back from Omaha, go walk around your stadium.
Look at it real close
and crank up the mower real quick and go, okay, do I really want to do this? Because
Because at Duke, you won't have to.
The answer, Dan, is no.
Duke will not make you cut the grass.
But I was impressed with that guy. He's
sharp.
He was
sharp.
Yeah.
He handled it great. He was awesome. He was an assistant coach at Walter State Community College 5 years ago.
Sometimes life is about breaks. And sometimes life is about being able to take advantage of breaks when they're offered to you. There is a degree of luck to life that is
where you are and who you know is every bit as important as what you got. Now, you got to know stuff too. You got to take advantage of it. But
their kids were impressive that weekend. Their response to the Sunday night game was, looking back, impressive. They just kind of said, it'll be. We'll go play a game tomorrow, see what happens. We're not supposed to be here.
Dangerous. In that park, they hit a lot of double. It's not out of the realm that they hang around for a minute.
I wouldn't bet on them.
Oh, not to win the title, but
win a game.
I don't know if they're I think they lose to Arkansas or LSU in an elimination game on day 3. But
that's what I'd bet on.
But I won't be shocked if they beat UCLA.
I won't either. And then it's just house money. Stacks of house money. Where you get to keep however much you got.
And it sounds like me minimizing what they're doing, and I'm not. And I'm just kind of putting context to this because Nathan says Murray State does not have the makeup of a typical 4 seed. I get the level of competition, but 4 seeds don't have the offensive numbers they have. They have been on a hell of a heater, and they really hit.
Yeah.
They hit 279 in conference play. They have not done this all year. This is not this Tennessee Tech level bomb nation offense that came to Oxford.
No.
You caught them at a time where they are playing solidly. They are taking advantage of every. Now, look, they fight up there. They battle your ass off at the plate.
They do.
But they hit 279 in conference play. Easy. It's because I saw someone on Twitter go, "Hey, it's the best 4 seed in history." It's like, no, Fresno State won a national title. Calm down.
If you told me that they faced LSU or Arkansas on Monday, I guess that's what that would be.
Yeah.
And just got it shoved.
Sure. And they should. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I don't know. I wasn't really planning on doing this for a while.
Plus 4,000.
No, I don't like Murray to win the title.
It's still a bad bet. Yeah.
No. No, Ole Miss lost. The 8th inning on that game, and then the 2nd inning when they had 3 infield hits. Because if you get out of that, and it's like 1-0, you beat them, and it's whatever. And
yeah, and there was an error that kept the inning alive, and was a kid's name Mercer.
Yeah, Dustin Mercer.
He had a base hit, scored 2 runs. You added on.
So, their BABIPs over the course of the 2 weeks is like almost 500. It's like
it doesn't hold up.
I know you guys are arguing with me, but over a 60 game sample size, it would not look like this. It just wouldn't.
No, at all.
Not
even close to this.
Yeah. They're good. They're damn good.
They're talented.
They are damn good.
They get the most out of what they got.
And they ran through, I think they tied with somebody for their conference title. I forget. I don't know. Missouri State or somebody. I don't know.
And they lost game 1 against Duke and just kind of kept playing.
Yeah. So, okay.
But yeah, Dan, if you're watching,
take the money, Dan.
Get it now.
No
sentiment.
That conference has gone on a bit of a run, though. Is that Oral Roberts conference from a couple years ago? I think Evansville went to a super regional last year out of that conference.
Is that right?
Yeah. I think that conference has actually done some work. So, no. When Duke calls, pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Because I think Duke might call.
I would think so.
Pick up. I get Duke's not the best job in the world.
It's better than Murray State.
Pick it up. No, Chris Pollard is upgrading, going to Virginia. It's a better gig.
Have we talked about Mississippi State and the investment in baseball? Have we gone there?
I think I only did it on my solo show.
Okay. Well, then I won't belabor the point.
I mean, what's your
No,
what's your 2-minute take? Go ahead. I mean, I was about to mention Greg Byrne for a second, so go ahead.
I kind of don't blame them.
I don't blame them at all. I'm fascinated as I continue to watch just what the numbers are.
Yeah.
And go, damn.
I mean, I don't think you can do this forever, but like maybe temporarily go, we're not winning in football, so don't worry about it. I told you this. I've not been in Swayze in a long time. You and I had this private conversation. And I was struck by the atmosphere at Swayze for the regional. It was amazing. I mean, it was electric. And I kept saying, I mean, look, how do I do this? This is interesting to me. Probably not to anybody else, but to me. So Sunday, I picked up Carson in Memphis at about 7 a.m. Okay. Mm-hmm. We drove to Oklahoma City. We got there right at 2. And he'd been up all night, basically. And so he was sleeping. And I was listening to ESPN radio some. ESPN radio talked about a lot of things on Sunday. NBA, game 2 of the finals was coming up that night. They talked about the NHL, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
National ESPN radio show.
National ESPN radio. They talked about some Major League Baseball. Of course, they talked about the NFL. It's the damnedest thing how they can find a way to talk about the NFL every day. Chase, they didn't talk about college baseball at all. It did not come up. The topic did not come up.
Nope.
And so when people go, well, nationally, I don't think nationally it registers.
My question is, does that matter?
And I don't think it matters.
In any capacity.
I don't think it matters because I was in the building Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for regionals. And the people here love it. There's no other word for it. They love it. They're passionate about it. People can do it's an Oxford thing. It's whatever. I don't know how whatever. So I don't I mean, I'm sure the same affection is there in Starkville. If it means that much, you should invest in what means something to you. I mean, you should the plants that grow are the ones that get the water. Take 2 ferns, water one fern, and don't water the other fern. See which fern grows.
And I can make the argument that national doesn't matter, and even from a regional or conference or whatever, I mean, there's tiers to this thing, but you can make some level of argument that 15 teams inside your own league who you compete against really care.
Yeah.
Or care enough that they put millions into it, however you want to phrase that. Care enough to have a 7-figure NIL program for that sport when every dollar matters right now in this new world.
I'm trying to remember which SEC coach said that the other day.
Because Kentucky spends $1 million on NIL. You can't tell me that if you spend $1 million, you don't care.
Right. No,
you care.
The only school that can say they don't care is Missouri, and they
don't care.
And yet their AD the other day said maybe we should care. He was like, I don't know. I give him credit. No, I understand, but you understand my point.
He shouldn't care. But sure.
I agree, but he's looking at it going, well,
everybody else cares.
Everybody else cares.
Well, you don't want to go 3-27 every year.
No, and I mean, here's the thing. I mean, when your fans are sitting in the stands, do the fans care about how much money the thing is making? Do you really care as you're watching it? Well, this makes financial sense. I've never seen a fan stand up and go, that was great, but this makes no financial sense. I've seen fans go, we're spending a lot of money to suck, but I've never seen the other side of it. And so,
well, I mean, South Carolina wins basketball. They care like a son of a gun, and they win titles, and they do all this, and nobody goes, hey, this program lost $7 billion last year.
Not even once. No one ever looks at that and goes, financially, this is stupid. They like it. And so it's that thing, I think, where people take beach trips. If you think about a beach trip logically.
Disney.
All right, or Disney. If you think about it logically, it's stupid. It's stupid. I mean, you're literally, as you're there, just pouring money into a bucket that sets on fire. But why do you do it? Well, you get family time, memories, photos, relaxation. There's intangibles involved.
Oh, yeah.
people keep doing it. Why? Because it makes them feel good.
Because they freaking like it. Like you said.
They like it. Does it make sense? No. You don't leave with you don't take the beach with you.
It's not an investment necessarily.
No. And so I walked out of Swayze on Monday literally going, I think I'd invest in it. Am I getting actual ROI? No. And I'm not. And the whole, I don't, you know me, I don't like the whole national, what does this do for us? How do you measure that shit? Like, I push back on the football people. When people do winning in football means more students. And I'm like, it's a part of it, but it's not all of it.
Look, this goes for a much larger element of everything. It's why a lot of times my criticism of athletic directors and athletic administration, what?
Ginger said there's nothing stupid about enjoying a cold brew on a people mover.
The damn people mover, whatever. Yeah. Okay. So anytime I get on to athletic administration, a lot of the times it's because I go, no, your job is to a lot of times criticize your own conference or the country because the only people that freaking matter are your constituents. What your people care about is all that should ever matter. Ever.
Absolutely.
If they like it, then you support that. Who cares what Greg Sankey thinks or somebody else thinks or what was Charlie Baker? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Charlie Baker thinks. If your people like it, you are there to take the bullets and represent your people like a politician. Period.
100%. And so I've seen all this criticism of Mississippi State, and I'm like, they like baseball. If it gives you an emotional ROI and makes you feel good for a few months, okay. Who am I to judge?
I know. And no, I mean, Wicked. Nobody else is going to steal it. We've got a story coming out about enrollment in Ole Miss and what level athletics does or doesn't play. He says Ole Miss freshman applications enrollment exploded after Kiffin hire in baseball natty. It coincides, but there was COVID. There was a decrease in difficulty to get in. Ole Miss removed the testing from its application process. There was a hell of a political environment going on.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff. So, because every SEC school, not every, but most SEC schools blew up.
Most of the state public schools blew up.
The flagship schools.
Because they dropped the ACT requirement.
Yeah.
So now to get scholarship stuff, to get like.
Well, ACT still is required for scholarships, but straight admission when you have money.
Right. But at some places that do like discounts.
Yeah.
Lot of schools skyrocketed in enrollment because people from other parts of the country are sending their kids to those schools in droves now.
But I do think Ole Miss elevating in athletics potentially increased their admissions among the kids who are going to go to an SEC school and then chose one.
100%.
And went Ole Miss rush and football, and it looks really fun.
Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't a factor. I'm saying it wasn't the factor.
Yeah, a lot of factors.
Yes. It goes... The COVID thing was significant. And anybody who thinks it wasn't, you're kidding yourself.
That was good for Ole Miss from an enrollment standpoint. There's no doubt about that in every way. So
Ben says the thing is, Neal, they like football too, and they're giving up on it. MSU saying,
we buried the point, but
yeah, I mean, but my point is if you look at something and go realistically, we're just not there. So let's compete in other stuff. Okay. Because from a football standpoint, you're going to get your money. You're in the league.
Oh.
I mean, they're going to get their check.
Oh, the media rights comes in no matter if you're 11-0 or 0-11. It does not matter in any capacity. No, I completely get that.
So...
All right, we'll come back in a second. First, tell you about G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer medicine. Fill your prescriptions the same day each month and take care of you. One trip to the pharmacy, one delivery. You have everything you need when you need it with G&M. So no matter where you are, let them help you out. Again, that's with Tyson Drugs in Holly Springs or here in Oxford, 662-236-2222.
We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great people, products, and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, South Haven, or the surrounding area, call 662-429-4429. Are you looking for the perfect place to rent luxuriously in Oxford? Discover the Bell at the Lamar, Oxford's brand new apartments just 1 mile from the square. You can live in the heart of it all with spacious 2 bedrooms starting at just $2,100, 3 bedrooms for $2,400. Each unit features modern finishes, beautiful interior doors, quartz countertops, perfect for parents, students, or anyone wanting to enjoy the university, ball games, and everything Oxford has to offer. They're going fast. Don't miss your chance to call the Bell at the Lamar home. I'll call them today, 662-550-0467 to visit, or go to thebelloxford.com to schedule your tour. The Oxford Park Commission set to open registration for the 2025 fall youth sports season. This includes soccer, flag football, baseball, softball, volleyball, and cheerleading. Participants are able to play in multiple sports without missing any games. Registration will run through July the 6th for all sports. Sign up at oxfordparkcommission.com. Brought to you by Window Hero. From window cleaning to pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, and everything in between, Window Hero has the experience, expertise, and equipment to make your property look and feel brand new. They were at our house a couple of weeks ago, cleaned out all the gutters, cleaned out all the debris that had gotten into the gutters from, what are these trees called? River birch trees that shed like crazy.
What?
River birch trees?
Oh,
shed, man.
Really?
Shed like you wouldn't believe. Cleaned all that out. They'll pressure wash your driveways. Clean your exterior. It's amazing. They make your property look great. They do great work, great customer service, and all of that. It's windowhero.com, 662-510-7077. Oxford locals and Ole Miss families, if you need dry cleaning or laundry done right, Lapel's Dry Cleaning has you covered, proudly serving the Oxford community since 2016. Lapel's takes care of everything from suits and formal dresses to comforters and everyday laundry. Even better, they offer free pickup and delivery to make life easier. Just call 662-638-3149 to be added to their pickup and delivery route, or visit them at 3010 Old Taylor Road, right across from the Mark condominiums. Mention MPW Digital. You get 50% off your first order. Trust Lapels to keep you looking your best.
So real quick, just gonna read this as much as anything. It's a continuation of the house settlement thing and what we're talking about with Deloitte and what could or could not happen. Greg Byrne was on with Greg McElroy and Cole Kublik yesterday, I believe. And he said this of the NIL Go clearinghouse.
Who said this?
Greg Byrne, AD
Okay.
at the University of Alabama.
Okay.
Quote, they have a formula that basically will say, yeah, this thing passes the smell test, or no, this thing doesn't. The formula is not going to be released because everybody will try to figure out how to get around it if it's released. Why is that a bad thing? So young men and young women have the legitimate opportunities for name, image, and likeness deals to be able to submit those. And if they pass, and private donations are ones that are going to struggle on that side, but legitimate business opportunities will be okay. Now, you're not going to get $500,000 for showing up in an ice cream shop and putting it out on Instagram anymore.
Why not?
From listening to football coaches in the SEC, my peers at the other SEC institutions, there's a real desire to make this work. There's an arbitration on things that we wouldn't be able to arbitrate before. So we'll give both sides an opportunity to be heard. And when there are challenges that arise, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than where we are. Yeah, destined to fail. That's it. So that was just the one quote yesterday that I saw and went, nope.
I'm looking for the Chris Beard quote because as he was saying it, I just shook my head yes.
Oh, he commented yesterday?
He did.
What did you make of Jeff Goodman, by the way, calling Ole Miss losers in the offseason?
I disagree, but I understand the opinion.
It's also on June 11th, and he needed a content item.
He did. You have to put a certain amount of context to this. Did they get the surefire oh, that dude's going to go get you 20 a game. No, they didn't. Now, I think they put together a really good roster. But there's a gamble on AJ Storr. There's a gamble on Elias Camadine.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to add an R. There's no R. I don't know. Why do I want to do that? I want to make it Camardine. And I think it's just Camadine.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sure.
It's nothing personal, Elias. I'll get it right before the season. So, sometimes European players struggle with the physicality of the American game for a little bit. AJ Storr did not have a great season statistically at Kansas last year. Corey Chest did not have a great season statistically at LSU last year. Ole Miss loses a lot off that team a year ago. They return Dia and Klafke, and really that's it. I mean, I get it. I disagree with it, but I get it. I don't think
here's an alternate take too, that in a lot of ways Goodman's actually giving you notoriety and expectations, because he didn't go choose teams that were like 150th in the country and then made them losers. Here's the list you were on: Memphis, Kansas, Baylor, Villanova, Ole Miss, Marquette, Georgia Tech, and Xavier.
Yeah, no, I mean,
like, you're up there with perennial NCAA tournament teams.
Well, I mean, I think he's treating you like a team that went to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Your bar is higher now.
Yeah, of course. And he didn't say they're going to lose. He said maybe they didn't quite get enough done. I mean, I think he would have given them a completely different grade if they'd gotten TJ Haggerty. But they didn't get TJ Haggerty for a reason. And that reason is they felt that investing that much money in one player was risky inside your locker room. There's nuance that is very, as you know, it's very difficult to put all of that nuance in one. I don't know Jeff Goodman. I might meet him and think he's the most great guy in the world. I might meet him and really not like him. I don't know. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He seems like a decent guy. He's been very favorable to Chris Beard since he's been here. I don't think this was personal. I think he, like you said, someone said, hey, you probably need to write something. He goes, it's June. And they went, yeah, well, write it anyway. And he goes, okay. Winners and losers.
Yes.
I mean,
it's almost like there's a template where you get a certain number, like some articles go, hey, this works. Okay, fine.
This is going to get clicks. These
the way too early top 25. Okay.
These idiots in Mississippi will talk about this. Watch. And here we are. So I don't know. It's fine.
Okay.
I doubt it. Look, if anything, he gave them a little very early bulletin board material. Hey, nobody believes in us. You don't get to always play that card the year after the Sweet 16. You know what I mean? It's not like they went 4-14 in the league and people are going, they're trash.
One thing we didn't really mention about State is it's not just going all in on baseball. It's the way that they have been promoting, and actually would like to talk to somebody over there about this. Hey, Dad, Steve, whomever, fine. The way they have structured their situations and their rev sharing, because, they have the smallest budget in the SEC. They don't have room in their budget to just come up with $20 million, even with cuts.
Right.
So they had to take a lot of their collective money, move it back in-house to fund the 20.
Right.
Well, if that's the case, they don't have any money to do in addition to, and we've heard SEC administrators say probably at least 30, 35 million in total when you come to NIL plus rev share.
Yeah.
Texas Tech, Brandon Marcello reporting that Tech might spend $55 million. That billionaire old money flowing right now for the Red Raiders. Just, woo, boy. So, whatever.
When you spend $1 million on a softball pitcher,
the pocketbook's open.
You're shopping in.
You're at Whole Foods.
I was getting ready to say.
No, was it Aramart? What is the really, really, really expensive one? It's like Aramart or something.
I grew up in Ruston. I don't know.
Help me, guys. Like, I see it on social media. I've never been in one, but yeah, like can of cherries is like $27 or something. They're
great.
That might be fantastic. A couple of years ago, the Rainer cherry was the fruit of the year. Like somebody does like a fruit of the year. Yeah. Honeycrisp apples one in the last few years. That's what you get from the show. Sorry. Okay.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander eats an apple right before he goes out to warm up every night. Like to take the floor with 15 minutes before the game.
Apple.
Eats an apple.
It's the same kind every time.
I'm not sure. You can see him chewing it when he's
so somebody there is in charge of the apple.
I'm sure that he has an apple guy.
For sure. Yeah. Like Sean Payton has a juicy fruit guy.
Yeah.
One for every drive, unless it's going well and keeps it in. Turnover, got to spit that one out, get another one. Look, we're all head cases, okay? It just is what it is. Yeah. But it's like anything else. At the time, you went, hey, y'all are scoring a lot of touchdowns. Chew the juicy fruit.
I mean, if you think you're scoring touchdowns because of juicy fruit, you are. So Beard was asked about.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I found it. He said, I try to stay educated so we don't just get blindly punched in the night, but he goes on. He goes, all these guys do a great job. They communicate with each other. They give you blah, blah, blah. He goes, I don't want every rumor or every proposal. I'm much more, hey, what are we doing here? To answer your question, it happened just a few days ago and a lot of meetings going on campus right now, how it will affect the basketball season's yet to be determined. There's a lot of things going on. I think my job is to coach the Ole Miss basketball team, so I try to stay focused on that, blah, blah, blah. He goes, but it's almost when I see an article, if it's just a 2-paragraph or a tweet, I'll read it. If it's 4 pages, I just feel like an idiot reading it because in my opinion, in 3 days, and I'm over here shaking my head as he's doing it, it's going to be completely different. So that's where I'm at with it. But I think the structure has a lot of good ideas, and I think we all want what's best for college basketball. I think it's important as coaches and players, blah, blah, blah. He goes, it comes up with, he just kind of is basically saying, I'm going to believe this sticks when I see it, is essentially what he's saying. He goes, if this is what we're going to do, I'll support it. But I'm kind of with him. I'm having a hard time. I wrote this in my mailbag. I'm having a hard time going, oh, yeah, let's really dive into this house settlement, what it's going to mean. Because someone's going to file a suit soon.
I mean, it's hard to argue. And all you do is just do what you can do. That's what Kiffin does. Hey, I can't fix the situation of the system, so I'm just going to work inside it.
Yeah.
Do the best I can. Be highly.
One of the questions that I get all the time, and I'm sure you get it too, is, well, what does this mean for Ole Miss? And I don't know. If it's truly enforced, I think it's a hurdle.
It is a hurdle because you need the avenues for high ticket quid pro quos that go under contract. It's not just paying for the ability to potentially market. It's actual market.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss has done a great job getting formatted for this. They've got this Magnolia Sports Group, this third-party entity. They're set up. It's just I am going to be fascinated to see what the actual situations and endorsements are as time moves on with it. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Grime was right up there. He said that Deloitte came out and said that last year 70% of NIL deals would have been denied or sent to arbitration.
Yeah.
70%.
Yeah.
Because most of them had zero quid pro quo.
Yeah, most of them didn't do anything.
You were paying for the right for quid pro quo, not the actual execution of quid pro quo. Done the same thing.
And knowing that you weren't ever going to do anything with it.
Grind, will A&M be the last Power 5 school in Texas, thanks for Super Chat, to make the CFP? Texas, TCU, and SMU have made it. That leaves Tech, A&M, Baylor, and Houston.
I don't know.
I mean, Houston and Baylor are not probably winning the Big 12. I understand his point is that A&M has to finish top 4 or whatever in the SEC.
Yeah.
And the other ones just have to win a bad conference one time. I don't think Baylor is winning the Big 12.
Texas Tech's the interesting case study.
Well, look, they could go run the Big 12.
Yeah. If you throw enough money at it, can you go win the Big 12?
Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Because the answer is yes. People go, well, Lubbock. And I'm like, they'll go to Lubbock.
Yeah,
they don't care.
Is it Joey McGuire coaching?
Yeah. Chris Beard said yesterday that they had guys that committed that didn't even take a visit. He's like, it was weird. I think was his word. But that's just the new deal.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. They had guys that are on campus now that did not take official visits.
God, Andy'd be thrilled. He was still here. Awesome.
Andy, let me show you this picture. That's our new practice facility. When in reality it was Oxford High School. That's the mall. They're building a mall. You're gonna love it. It was OHS. David, that's the sky.
It's a different time. It was a different time.
It was a different time.
That's all it was. I don't need the fodder today. ESPN came out with a 2-year power ranking when they looked at future as well. Ole Miss 16th in that. Just giving you a heads
nationally.
up. Yeah. I'm not.
Who was 15?
Florida.
Oh, God, come on.
LSU was like 13. Tennessee was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
He was looking at offensive line, defensive line depth, and age. Returning quarterback.
In the current system?
Neal, June the 11th.
Yeah.
Look, I have a new appreciation, okay?
I know
June the 11th. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
Them quotas are real things, man.
Got to get something out there today.
Got to get those page views.
Speaking of, up this morning, I looked at it. Trey Harris and Trey Amos, the only 2 Ole Miss players not to have signed their NFL draft contracts yet. Cursory of a Google search this morning to kind of look around. It appears that second-round picks are the most likely to not have signed yet because their contracts are still guaranteed, but you get a little more finagling on bonus structure, signing bonus numbers, some different escalators that first-round picks have pretty standard situations in those ways, and below that, you start getting into non-guaranteed contracts. So they're sort of in this weird sweet spot where Amos and Harris are both practicing with their teams. Amos has been turning some heads this week. He's gotten a lot of press footage on how he has performed in OTAs heading into mandatory minicamp.
He's got him an insurance policy signed up, I'm sure.
Yeah, and a couple of the older commanders at his position have held out, so it's giving him a lot of opportunities the last couple of weeks to turn heads a little bit. But Walter Nolan signed yesterday.
Saw that.
So
about $20 million?
19.3 guaranteed, including a 10.7 signing bonus.
Good for you, Walter.
Jackson Dart, 17 guaranteed with a $9 million signing bonus. Harris and Amos are going to eventually sign contracts worth 7.8 and 7.2, respectively. That's what it's going to end up being. Princely has signed for 6.3 with a 1.3 signing bonus. Watkins 4.8 with a $665,000 signing bonus. What?
Just in my mind thinking 665. That'll buy you a backup corner right now.
There's suddenly coming back and going and stuff. I'm just saying. Chris Paul 4.5, but only 320 guaranteed. Because you're in the 5th round. That's where you are. And then JJ 4.4, but 267,000 guaranteed.
Okay.
So that is your Ole Miss record draft class, the most Rebels taken in a draft since it went to 7 rounds in a format in 1994, I believe, was the year on that. So just a little heads up there. That's all. You got anything else on? Because I'm going to bring up something else after the break, but I don't want to start it for 3 minutes. Anything else on the Vitello Van Horn thing before we move on from yesterday?
I got people kind of push back on me about that a little bit. It was kind of weird.
Like they're saying, no, he's good in Knoxville?
Well, yeah, just like, no, he wouldn't do that or they wouldn't do that. I'm like, okay. All right. I mean, I don't care. I just thought it was all interesting. I still kind of thought it was interesting.
The dynamic that is so interesting is Tony Vitello a better Dan Mullen? Is he just doing that shit because that's what he had to do at Tennessee at the moment to kind of get going, and that's not 100% who he's most comfortable being? I don't know. Just a question.
That's what I think. But I could be wrong. I don't know Tony Vitello. I know people who do, and they say that's not who he really is. I mean, we cover a guy who has a social media personality that's not his real personality. He uses it to market. But in reality, that's not who he is. I don't. Number one, I mean, the whole job coming open at Arkansas hasn't happened yet. They haven't won the national championship. They got to win some games first. You've covered that. It's not easy. You've covered a team that didn't do it and a team that did do it.
These next 5 are complicated. Yes.
Some would argue the team that didn't do it was better than the team that did do it.
Oh, it was not their best team at all. Yeah.
So it's weird. Who knows, right? I mean, it's baseball. Weird stuff happens. But I think the consensus feeling among people is if they were to win it, that he might step away. And he got emotional the other day. He doesn't typically get emotional. And
somebody that you and I both know that definitely knows that Arkansas program has intimated that in recent weeks, that if he ever wins it,
that's that.
That would be that.
That he, like anybody else who had been in that dugout at the time, was haunted by how close they've been. Twice.
Yeah.
Once with the ball literally in the air, and once facing a team that he believed that whoever won this game was going to win the title, and he turned out to be right. And I thought Vitello acted different. That's it. That's all I said. He was different on the field after that game. He wasn't throwing stuff, ranting and raving. He was staying around and kind of being a class act. And then he said some things.
I think he also just kind of thought, we weren't as good.
Yeah.
We just got beat.
Sometimes you lose. The other team tries too.
Yeah. I think
we've written that before. Yeah. Where everybody loses their mind. I mean, Mark Daignault with the Thunder had a great quote the other day. He goes, well, your opponent in these series are not it's not stagnant. It's not static.
Yeah.
They're adjusting too.
Yeah. They have a game where
they're also watching the film and trying to figure out where you can find a weakness or a strength or an advantage. Things change.
Is that the game shirt from the other night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's tonight's game shirt?
I don't know because it's in Indiana.
Oh, it's in Indiana. Sorry.
I wish it were at home. That would be nice.
You think best record should just get them all at home?
I do.
That would be great.
I'm for completely reseeding this thing. Yes. Play all 7 at home.
I'm going to break in 60 seconds, and I get that it was just a kind of a nothing in a vacuum, but I don't think it was in a vacuum. And maybe this is something we'll tease for tomorrow because I do want to get another topic in a minute. Switzerland beat the U.S. men's national team 4-0 yesterday in a complete and utter laugher. And I know that the U.S. is down basically their entire team. They played all subs.
Yeah.
But every other country that's going into the Gold Cup too would be playing downstream as well or playing their summer circuit to some extent. So the U.S. does not have the depth that other countries have.
That is true.
They have done nothing to capitalize on momentum heading into the World Cup next year. They are potentially kind of pathetic going into next year.
Agreed. Yeah.
This is a problem. If you've ever thought this was the tipping point for another step.
Well,
I get there's a lot there.
I mean, there's a lot there. I mean, I'll give you an incredibly small sample size on the way people feel about this. So you and I have a mutual connection who knows that I have a son who's pretty soccer fever crazy.
Yep.
And he was like, I think I might be able to hook you up with World Cup tickets.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, awesome. Anywhere, whatever. Good. We're good. And Carson goes, hey, if we get to choose, I don't want to watch the Americans.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, really? And he goes, yeah, I want to see a good game. He goes, if that's all we can get, I'll take whatever we can get. Whatever. I want to go to the World Cup. He goes, but if we get to choose.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the World Cup's going to be a big deal, but if it requires the U.S. making the knockout stage,
it's going to be a tall order.
I mean, last summer I saw them play Uruguay, and they just weren't in the same boat with those guys.
Were they not?
No. Not even close. Uruguay was so much better than the American team.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the score, and I read about it a little bit and went,
I mean,
Gold Cup starts Sunday.
You can excuse it away.
But that would be probably a little foolhardy to completely excuse it away.
A little bit.
Yeah. I agree with you. So, all right. Northeast Spark, fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available, whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends. They offer both residential and business packages with speeds up to 2 gigabits. To learn more, register for service. That's nespark.com. NeSpark. Get connected. Stay local.
Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with a personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Sego with Sego Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting and see what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. Stress out about the Rebels, but not your money. It's rebelsretire.com. Arnett's Fine Jewelry is a fourth-generation jeweler located in the old Lamons Jewelry Building on North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. They offer expert jewelry repair, diamond engagement rings, wedding bands, stackable diamonds, genuine stone bands, pearls, color stones, diamond jewelry, all sorts of stuff for gifts, flexible bangles, diamond pendants, earrings, and much, much more at Arnett's. They want to be your jeweler. We're brought to you by the College Corner. They've got autographed footballs and helmets in stock, all the gear that you need to get ready for the upcoming football season. It'll be here before you know it because summer flies by. 8 home games this year, so they'll have different color days, right? Red and navy and powder, white. We've got all the gear at the College Corner. You got the location in Oxford off of Sisk Avenue in the Oxford Commons. Also 2 locations in Jackson and collegecornerstore.com. We're also brought to you by Argent Wealth. Argent, based in Ridgeland, Mississippi. They've got clients in more than 20 states. Argent provides detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much, much more. At Argent, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Argent will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, and put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan built just for you. It's myargentwealth.com. And we're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. John is part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows him to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. Get in touch with John. Give him some parameters. Give him a budget. That's really important. He'll give you options you won't find on your own. You don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. It's 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net.
So, got this from your mailbag last night or yesterday. Well, actually, middle of the night. I think you put it up at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I woke up at 1:30. I couldn't go back to sleep. I gave myself 15 minutes, and I said, I'm getting up.
You do the 15-minute thing.
Yep, 15 minutes. My brain was going really fast. And I was like,
do you do anything in those 15 minutes?
Try.
Like counting sheep, meditate?
Yeah, I pretend I'm on a beach.
Do you really?
Yeah. That usually works.
I woke up.
Like calm. Try to calm.
I woke up at about 3:45, knew I needed a little more sleep. And this screws you because you got to figure out where you lost. But I will put in an audiobook that I'm actually listening to.
Yeah.
Start listening to it. And then I realize I've either fallen asleep or dozed enough that I have no idea what's going on in the book for about 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So later in the day, I'll have to
go back
and figure out where I wasn't paying any attention. But in the moment, it sort of, I told you that sleepbaseball.com. You listen to the fake baseball games. Soothing as hell.
I need to try that.
Just turn it on and it's like 2 random made up teams and you pick it and the voice is calm.
You catch yourself cheering for one of the teams?
You do. This is so stupid. If you use it at all, you start to recognize some of the player names because they have like 6 teams that alternate the games or whatnot. And you'll catch yourself going, oh, yeah, the Timber or like whatever. And going, hey, it's literally made up. The whole thing's fake. But the voice is kind of calm and it stays on the same plane the whole time. It's kind of like
what somebody hits a home run?
It's kind of like Vin's just talking to you, and it might elevate a little, but it's trying to put you to sleep. I mean, it's literally sleepbaseball.com.
Gus and Rizzo sleep on beds in our room.
Uh-huh.
And I'll sometimes use Gus snores. I'll use Gus's snoring to try to go back to sleep. And it usually works, but nothing worked last night, so I got up and did my mailbag.
Yeah, the South Haven Ravens played the Big Rapids Timbers. The Timber Race returns.
Who won?
I've got it on.
Oh, he's very boring.
I've got it on too slow. Like I got to speed it up a little bit. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just giving you a little something. Not
Okay.
bad. So anyway, sorry, I'm burying the lead there, but it's okay. What are your last mailbag questions? And I've been thinking about this, not really in terms of us, but just in general and where media is, because in
I'm almost nervous now.
a lot of the same. Why?
Well, I don't know, because I gave an answer to it that I gave some thought to it.
Why are you nervous?
I don't know. I'm afraid I'm going to get criticized for my answer because I could be wrong.
Well, I don't think. I actually
can
brought
handle.
it
I can
up.
handle it.
Well, I actually brought it up because I think there's no right answer. I think that it is an intriguing topic of where we currently are. So, okay, the question is really long, but let me get down to just the dynamics of it. Question from N. Richards 19 from rebelgrove.com, I'm assuming. Says, listen to Theo Vaughn, JD Vance's podcast the other day and thought the podcast went really well for JD, as you said during the campaign, blah, 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 blah. Theo has decried Israel, Gaza, tariffs, and a whole host of other issues, but didn't press JD on anything. Granted, he's a comedian and it isn't his job, but as more people are strictly getting their news from Rogan, Matt Dillon, Theo, etc., do they shoulder some type of responsibility to ask hard questions and press, given their influence is so much more than CNN could ever hope to be at this point in time? I agree that mainstream media has extreme problems. However, if I were a politician and wanted to get traction, I'd go on these popular podcasts where they aren't going to dig. That does take worlds more than actually sitting down with a journalist, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
So it's a fascinating thing, because I wonder with people, in some ways, even with us, if we write something, we are trying to be very sourced, very correct. And we're doing that in podcasts in a way, but we're also just spouting off opinions for 90 minutes. Or we're talking about topics, or we have guests where we're listening to them and you let them talk and whatnot. And Rogan is more likely to ask follow-up questions to dig than Theo Vaughn. Theo, it's actually the reason why I don't like him.
Same.
Is because I feel like he comes into it intentionally unprepared. And there's a difference in knowing the topic and coming in where you just don't even know basic things about somebody, where you bog it down because they're having to explain things and almost everybody knows at that point. So it is a fascinating dynamic of far more people listen to these top 15, 20 podcasts in the country and the world than watch cable news, read the Wall Street Journal, read the New York Times, whatever your affiliation is in that way.
Yeah.
So where is that line between it's just somebody having a conversation and letting someone talk, and the responsibility to follow up and go, yeah, but that has a hole in it. So can you go here and explain and differentiate? Because again, people are, and I'm talking collectively, people are kind of stupid in their confirmation bias.
Yeah.
They believe anything these people in a podcast say, no matter what side of the aisle they're coming from. So where does that responsibility lie? It's fascinating.
So Rogan had Burninator is right here. Rogan had Kash Patel on the other day, and it was one of the things I listened to on the drive to Oklahoma City. And he pushed back pretty hard. Like Patel was saying that the Epstein suicide was indeed a suicide.
Okay.
And that basically there's footage to prove it. And Rogan pushed hard, asked a lot of questions. And at one point, Patel said, I'm glad I'm doing this because this is a format that allows me to actually answer things, to talk about things.
Sure.
Maybe that's Rogan being super interested in the topic. Maybe that's Rogan feeling a certain degree of responsibility.
Sure.
I firmly believe that the Joe Rogan show impacted the last election, in that one party did the interviews and the other party chose not to do the interviews, and I think they paid for that.
Yeah, I do too.
It's like you said, it's complicated, right? I mean, I don't like Theo Vaughn's show. I like Theo Vaughn. He's fine. When I'm trying not. I almost said something, but I don't feel like.
I mean, Joe Rogan gets 190 million downloads a month. 190 million.
Yeah, it's why like you and I both work at websites.
Yeah.
We reach far more people with the podcast.
Yeah.
Far more.
Yeah.
Young people don't subscribe to websites. Much. There's exceptions, but as a whole, they don't. We're still all trying to figure out how to get those people. I don't know that it's possible. We'll see. They watch YouTube. They listen to podcasts, especially young males. They listen to podcasts. It's where they get information. But Joe Rogan doesn't call himself a journalist. He calls himself a podcaster. Theo Von will tell you he's an entertainer.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't mind that format. Just have a conversation. We don't hear conversation. There is a benefit to simply having conversations and listening to conversations because, frankly, we don't as a society. So there's a benefit to that. But you have to be knowledgeable enough to understand what the premise of the show is. And I think that's getting bogged down at times. Where you go, well, hey, Rogan or Theo Von had this guy on there, and he said this, and that's not really right. Let me fact check it. It's like, well, it's not really built to fact check. That's not really the purpose to be fact checked. At the same time, you are influencing opinion across a very wide swath, whether you intend to or not.
And so the question really is, why would Kash Patel choose to go on Rogan and not on 60 Minutes? And the answer is he doesn't trust 60 Minutes.
Yeah. And it's edited. I can go on Rogan and just talk for 3 hours.
Yeah, we'll talk. J.D. Vance sat down with...
The only edits in Joe Rogan are when he goes to the bathroom.
Yeah, and they'll tell you literally, hey, we're going to take a break to pee.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then come back.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, we didn't miss anything. I mean, I guess we missed whatever happened in between, but doesn't ever seem like you missed anything. It seems like everybody goes to the restroom, they come right back, they sit down, and they like hit the button again, and they go. Or resume the show. They've already gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like somebody mentioned Johnny Carson, but that was not in-depth interviews. That's a little different. I mean, I understand the point. He got huge numbers, and he's just talking to somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a comparison. Yeah. I get it.
But I mean, Carson didn't consider himself a journalist. He was look, here's the thing, man. And people don't like this in our field, but the mainstream media has lost the public trust. You got the situation going on in Los Angeles right now that you can turn that on two different, and I haven't. I'm told this. I just haven't watched. You can turn it on two different networks, and you'll think it's two completely different stories.
Oh.
A lot of people just lost the public trust. We talked about COVID earlier. There was damage done to the public trust on the part of mainstream media during COVID.
Sure.
5 years later, they have not won that trust back. Patel talked about some of that, about the Steele dossier and some of the things that the media ran with that just weren't accurate. You have a responsibility in media to try to be accurate. At least there used to be. I mean, look, I've said this, and I'm a little older than you, and I have more mainstream media background than you do. I'm kind of old school about that, to the point of people going, well, why are you still that way? You don't have to be that way. I get that all the time. Just give opinions. Yeah, but I'd like for my opinions to be kind of sourced.
And I feel like we're talking about there's different levels. I mean, we don't talk about enough news for you to probably debate whether our responsibility goes from one thing to the next. We're mostly just giving sports opinions. It's whatever.
Right.
Or it's very, very localized. And I'm sure there's regional podcasts and local podcasts out there that you would go, no, like they have a very similar responsibility. From a national standpoint, we're only talking about 5-6 shows. I mean, I've got the top charts pulled up right now. I mean, we're talking about Rogan. We're talking about Theo Von, who, by the way, is number 4 in the country today.
Yeah.
We're talking about Chris Williamson with Modern Wisdom a little bit. Not as much. I like him. Yeah.
Okay.
British guy, lives in Austin now.
Okay.
He gets a lot of the same guests Rogan has on, but he's a little more.
So Austin's become the podcast center of the world?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they all kind of mingle together and do whatever. Williamson's a little deeper. Like he gets into like theory a little more than Rogan does.
Okay.
I have to be in the right mood. Like Tucker Carlson, the number 12 podcast in the country right now. You know what you're getting, but that's where you are.
I mean, he does ask questions.
Yeah.
I don't listen to it very often because it's just not my cup of tea, really. But now I've heard him have people on where he does ask questions.
Sean Ryan, probably to some extent. I would think. And then almost never, and I am completely guest dependent and then hate it if it's one I don't really, really care about. To some level, the smartless guys, Jason Bateman and them. Like that would be.
I can't stand it.
In every way. It's a lot of their guests I don't like, and they are so bad as podcasters talking over one another that I want to like strangle someone while I am listening.
Yeah, and you can't tell me you hate Tucker Carlson and then tell me you love them. That doesn't work. Nope.
Yeah. They have made a shtick out of interrupting each other, and it's like, oh my God.
But look, the days of Walter Cronkite are over.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Walter Cronkite was on your evening news. I mean, when I was a kid, I'm aging myself here, or dating myself, I should say. I can remember my dad coming home from work at Louisiana Tech, and he'd pop some popcorn, and sometimes he'd open up a Miller Lite, and he would watch the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite. And I think, I'm sure Walter Cronkite had political views, but most people really didn't know what those views were. Those days are over.
Yeah.
Now those people would have no chance.
Confirmation bias and social media.
Yes.
Both.
And so, again, if I were critiquing the Kamala Harris campaign, critique number one would
not
be
going on.
You should have gone on Rogan. That was dumb.
No, Trump and Vance went on Theo Vaughn and Rogan within a 5-6 day period,
and just talked.
And
JD Vance went from totally changed the narrative around him, because the Democratic narrative around him was he's what was it? As a nerd. I don't even remember now.
Yeah,
he's weird. He's weird. The word was weird. JD Vance is weird. And so he sits down with Joe Rogan for 3 hours and Theo Vaughn and finishes with it. And you can hate his policies, right? You can think this guy is a whatever.
But it normalized the hell out of him.
But you're like, yeah, he's a normal dude.
Yeah, it normalized him.
No, he's not weird.
It made him actually more normal than most politicians, the way he came across in those interviews.
100%. And so it defeated that narrative.
It did.
People were like, oh, so this guy's weird. And they listened to it for 3 hours, like, nah, I'd have a beer with him.
Yeah.
And that was a killer.
Mm-hmm.
And she was given after Trump sits down with Rogan, she's given an opportunity to sit down with Rogan, and he's subsequently come out that his goal was to do them both on the same day.
Yeah, I've heard
and
this.
Release them at the same time.
Yeah. And they said you have to come to me instead of come to you, and would only give him an hour. And he said, no, that's not the deal. And they wouldn't budge.
That was a mistake on her part.
Yeah.
And so when people said, well, she wouldn't be able to handle it. Okay, well then she's not winning.
Yeah.
And so it will be interesting as we get into the next election cycle,
how they play those out,
how the decisions are made on the other side. And look, one of the leading candidates for the Democrats is Pete Buttigieg. And he has started sitting down and doing these types of interviews.
Has he?
Yes.
Okay.
It is new media. Look, things change. Media changes.
What's the thing? Bringing this full circle, it's not what podcasts were meant to be in any capacity. It was literally just supposed to be conversations about niche topics. That's how podcasts became in our society. As they become more popular, does that responsibility change? Yes or no? That's the question you're answering, and I don't think that's fair to make somebody go, hey, you have to change your entire business model that became popular just because more people listen.
Why are we successful?
Consistency, and we just talk and tell the truth. Or at least our opinions. We give honest opinions. Well, let's put it that way.
And
I'm sure we're wrong some, but
we're wrong a lot.
Yeah.
I was wrong just a week ago.
Yeah.
We're wrong a lot, but we let people get to know us through the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That's how. When you watch Rogan now, you kind of feel like you know Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
You do. You don't have to like him.
It's why I listen to almost every podcast I listen to. The ones that I'm really indebted to and very routine oriented with, it's strictly because I like the host. I don't even care what the topic is most of the time. I've got some movie pop culture podcasts that I listen to just because I like the host.
Yeah.
I can never have seen the movie and don't care.
Right.
Just go now, listen to y'all talk for 45 minutes.
I kind of like Rogan. I can drive down the road and listen to him.
Yeah, I'm pretty guest dependent, but yeah.
But I generally like him. And the only time that I'm ever like, oh, damn it, here we go, is
kickboxing, UFC.
If we get into anything mixed martial arts,
yeah, I don't.
it's I don't get mad at
It's
him.
why I
He-
hated his episode with, was it Sandler or somebody, where he just went
started
on and
in on
on.
that. Yeah.
And I went,
But that's his thing. And so I know it, and I don't hold it against him. I might move on to the next thing and whatever, but I know that's his jam. He genuinely loves it.
yeah,
Like he has a passion for it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he sort of lets you know who he is.
Which is the goal. It's the purpose. So, all right, take a final break. Tell you about the Declaration of Independence Center for the Study of American Freedom. It's located on the Ole Miss campus. They aim to explore and examine the fundamental and founding principles of the United States of America, offering academic minor in freedom studies and scholarship opportunities for Ole Miss students that bring along lots of networking potential. To learn more, contact Steven Skoltedi or Rankin Sherling at freedom@olemiss.edu or visit independence.olemiss.edu.
Get the beautiful and healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com. We're also brought to you by Parish Brewing Company, located right there in the heart of Cajun country in Broussard, Louisiana. Their simple goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer. Their story began in 2003. Their founder moved from Louisiana to Pittsburgh, discovered a thriving craft beer scene. He brought it home with him to Louisiana, and you can enjoy it in your living room, your bar, or wherever you consume beer. They've got Dr. Juice. They've got Ghost in the Machine, Envy, Canebrake, pretty much whatever you want in beer. They've got it at Parish Brewing Company. It's all fantastic. Wherever you look for your beer, look for Parish Brewing Company. And we mentioned my mailbag. It's brought to you by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929. Or email Art at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com.
Are the Knicks in trouble with this coaching search? See, they're getting denied a lot, but that's not necessarily uncommon.
I mean, Tom Thibodeau took them to the Eastern Conference Finals and got fired. So the message you send is finals or bust, which is really hard. It's hard to make the finals. Only 2 teams make the finals. The other ones don't. Pretty tough. Got a little older team.
Where's Malone going to end up?
I don't know. He's pretty good at TV. I kind of wonder if he takes a year and does take a year, do some TV.
You don't lose in TV.
Not only that, you get to learn a lot.
Recharge, learn.
I mean,
Andy enjoyed that year.
AK and I talked about that. He learned a lot.
Got to go to practices, see stuff.
Went to practices all over the country. Got to sit down with coaches, talk basketball. And they shared things because they weren't having to beat him that week.
Yeah.
Learned a lot. I don't know. I mean, Michael Malone did a good job. He might be tired. He might not want the grind of an NBA season right away. Might want to take a year and take that vacation to the beach when he wants to, you know?
OKC by 5.5 is your line tonight. 7:30 ABC over under 228.5, and the money line Indiana plus 170 is your
the magic number is Pacers at 110 points. If they score 110 or more, they probably win. If they score 109 or less, they probably lose. That's the number.
Analytically, that's what it says.
Yep. 80% of there have been 40 NBA final series that were 1-1 after 2. 32 of the 40 teams to win game 3 won the series.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I'm a nervous wreck.
7:30. Where are you going to watch it?
Carson and I will watch downstairs. We have our ritual.
Okay.
I have one side of the room. He has the other. Totally serious.
Really?
Yep.
Try not to break anything. Is that the goal?
We've so far not broken anything.
So far. But you weren't at home for game 1.
Mm-mm.
So
in game 1, we didn't have all of our stuff.
So
game 2, we did.
Oh. Cubs play today?
I think so.
Okay. You mentioned the Braves earlier.
We kind of got away from the Cubs thing, though, because game one, the Cubs had won in front of us.
They did.
On game one, and then they lost late on that damn Halliburton shot. My God, this thing should be over right now. It should be 2-0.
And just
it should be done. I mean, the Thunder have dominated the series analytically.
Braves are 28-38, by the way. You asked earlier.
38-28?
28-38.
Oh. Yeah, because yesterday there was a lot of Chris Sale trade stuff. And a lot of the Cub bloggers that I follow started writing about Chris Sale, and I was like, what?
I got a question in my mailbag last week about it. They're probably doing some sort of soft sale of gearing for 26 and figuring out what this should look like moving forward. 2 Ole Miss Rebels in the U.S. Open this week with Michael Lasasso and Cameron Tankersley both qualifying for the U.S. Open.
Oh, that's right. That is this week.
Starts tomorrow.
This is the O.J. Simpson anniversary stuff that we do every year.
Yeah. We're in that week. It's June 17th, so we're
June 17th. That's right.
Yeah, it's June 17th.
What a day.
We'll do that next week.
Yeah.
So they're at Oakmont in Pennsylvania, one of the toughest courses in the world. Very difficult golf course.
And this is the tournament where they try to see just how ridiculously hard they can make the course.
Yeah, most times you'll see carnage this week at Oakmont for the U.S. Open. Lasasso teeing off morning wave at 7:35 Central tomorrow.
This does not affect his decision, right?
If he were not an amateur, he would not be able to play. He's only has this invite and the Masters invite because he is an amateur.
And I know he's not going to win it. Michael, I'm for you, by the way, but
he cannot get prize money from this.
So if he were to win it, he would have to, the prize money would get distributed among the other players.
I think
could he at least give it to St. Jude or something?
Well, I think that's right. I mean, I could be a little wrong on some technicalities, but yes, if you're an amateur, you cannot.
I'm not holding you to it.
I know. I'm just trying. I should know that, and I think I'm right, but there's something just kerneling in the back of my mind that says there's some weird something.
Can you imagine how wild this is for him? I mean, come on. You can't tell me that he doesn't have jet planes flying around in his stomach right now. Big 757s that take an hour to load the passengers. He's got stewardesses right now saying that's not going to fit in there.
He won, so by winning the national championship, he got automatic Masters and U.S. Open invites as long as he maintains his amateur eligibility.
Okay.
If he goes pro, he loses those invites. But the way the system is set up now for college kids, stay to the end. You get a bunch of points called PGA Tour U points.
Okay.
So if you're one of the top college players in the country, you get into a lot of tournaments, and it kind of sets you up way more than if you leave early without the PGA Tour U points, and you have to just qualify and go through Q school and do some of those things.
Forgive my ignorance.
Yeah.
But let's say he stays.
Yeah, sure.
And he plays the Masters and all that stuff.
Yeah.
When he's finished with his eligibility,
correct,
does he have to go get a tour card?
He does. That's what I'm saying. Because of his college standing, he will be way better set up to execute that than someone who just simply went pro early without his accolades.
Okay.
He will do something very similar to Luke Clanton, who's at Florida State this year. Lasasso is next year's Luke Clanton if he comes back to Ole Miss.
Okay.
Which apparently I think he will. He'll get some NIL. He'll stay.
Yeah.
Golf, even doing the NIL thing.
Mm-hmm.
He'll play his college schedule, and then he'll play a ton of PGA Tour events where he'll get sponsor exemptions in to go ahead and kind of get acclimated.
But he can't keep that money.
No, he's just playing events.
Okay.
And he'll play the events and start. Now,
who pays his expenses, like the sponsors and stuff? How does that work? Because it costs to travel and stay in hotels.
I'm sure he has people buying in percentages to him, but I don't know beyond that. That would be
so people are investing in him like a stock almost.
Oh yeah, it happens a lot with golfers. Yeah, you buy a percentage of his winnings for money to support the travel and the calls. And now he's probably got an agent that's going, hey, we're going to fund this because we know down the road we're going to make cash. So it's why Braden left early when he left, because he got a great deal from an agency. He goes, hey, we're going to pay you a lot of money up front. And
I realize these are stupid questions.
Yeah,
so I'm saying up front these are stupid questions.
Yeah.
So before everybody yells at me with Neal, that's a stupid question, I'm admitting it's a stupid question. He has the skill set to be a really good pro. Does the college game translate to the pro? Because it's golf, right?
I hope Braden wins every tournament. I love him to death. His flaws at a high-level PGA Tour level were driving accuracy and some things where you went, I don't know. He's got great hands. He's great around the green, but you worried about some of that.
Yeah.
No, Lasasso hits it a mile. He's good. Like
Okay.
I think this is a legitimate. I mean, I get it was set up for college players, but that was a pretty tough course they played on for the national title and shot 11 under through 3 days. Like that was real.
Okay.
So yeah, I think, and Wicked said the number 1 PGA Tour U player gets an actual complete tour card every year, and
okay.
Lasasso would be very much in that conversation.
Okay.
At this point, I mean, he has spent time as the number 1 player in the.
So the tournament starts tomorrow.
Tournament starts tomorrow.
What time does he tee off?
8:35 tomorrow.
Who's he paired with?
He is paired with James Hahn and Mark Hubbard, 2 pros.
Okay.
He tees off at 1:20 on Friday. So morning wave tomorrow, afternoon wave on Friday. Great experience. I mean, it's to just go ahead and get acclimated to. I mean, duh.
Yeah.
But
you think?
Just to go ahead and see it, get used to it. He had the amateur dinner last night. They have like a big dinner at Oakmont, the U.S. Open for the amateurs. He is making his PGA Tour debut at the Rocket Classic later this month or next month.
Okay.
Is doing that as well. And like I said, he'll get a ton of sponsor invites over the course of next year. I mean, if he doesn't play as well for Ole Miss in some of the tournaments, guys, he's a little distracted next year. He's going to be doing a lot of stuff. I mean, because he left he stayed out in Carlsbad for a couple extra days to do agency stuff. And then he went straight to the Walker Cup in South Carolina and competed for Team USA against the College Ryder Cup is what it is. It's college players. Ole Miss had a women's player on the international team, Caitlin McNabb. So he went out there, played that. He lost both his partner competitions and then won his singles match 6-5, which is a blowout. That's not 6-2-5. That means he was up 6 holes with 5 holes remaining.
Okay.
To end the match.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't play 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then he immediately went to Oakmont. Malloy caddied for his son in like a junior event a couple days ago, and then immediately went to Pennsylvania to help him prepare. He and Cameron Tankersley, who just did the 36-hole long day qualifying bitch. Toughest day in golf, longest day in golf. It's a bitch. He qualified that way. So almost his number 2 ranked player on their team is also at the U.S. Open.
Oh, wow.
He tees off at 7:46 in the morning with Junichiro Kazuma, I don't know, and Chase Johnson. So that is Cameron Tankersley.
Malloy's up there?
Yeah, he went to help Lasasso and Tankersley prepare the last 2 days up there. So.
Oh, that's cool.
And I don't know if he's doing it here. A lot of times the assistant coach, Emerson, is Lasasso's caddy. So I don't know if he's caddying for him at the U.S. Open or not, but I know he has for some major events in the past that
that's awesome.
He's done. So
yeah.
No,
hey, it's cool. I hope they play really well. That would be. I can't imagine the nerves. I mean, just I don't mean like nerves, like oh shit, what am I going to do? But just it's the U.S. Open.
It's the U.S. Open,
and you're still in college.
Yeah, Lasasso was in Oxford for the Saturday games of the regional. That's true.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Just the NCAA, guys.
Guys, it's so stupid, man.
Just the NCAA. That's
so you got a rule about that? Like, come on.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Lasasso tomorrow, Tankersley tomorrow. We will check on them next time we talk. So we'll be back with you in the morning with Mr. Wright, I guess. Tomorrow is Thursday. I kind of forget my days of the week this week, but tomorrow is Thursday.
Days of the week.
We'll have content all over the internet places, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Take care.